The documentary that shook hip-hop, Hollywood, and the entire entertainment world dropped without warning. Sean Combs, The Reckoning, a 4-part investigative series, arrived like a thunderstorm, resurfacing allegations, re-examining history, and reopening wounds many believed were buried. But while the world watches the legal chaos in the headlines, something deeper is happening behind closed doors. Something the cameras can't capture. This is the untold story of how Sean Diddy Combs' family, his mother, his sons, and the people closest to him, are reacting to the fallout. Their silence, their statements, their emotions, and their future. This is not just a celebrity scandal. This is a family living through a global spotlight during its darkest hour. Before we begin, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Every week, we break down the real stories behind the headlines. Not gossip, not rumors, just publicly verified information presented with respect and clarity. Joining the channel means you stay informed, and you help support documentaries like this that take hours to research and produce. So subscribe, turn on notifications, and let's get into this story. When Sean Combs, The Reckoning premiered, the impact was immediate. The documentary featured interviews with former associates, legal experts, and cultural analysts. It also included footage taken shortly before Combs' 2024 arrest, footage the public had never seen. Within hours, social media exploded. News outlets ran back-to-back coverage. Hashtags trended for days. Critics called the documentary one of the most shocking exposés of the decade. Supporters of the film claimed it was a necessary examination of power, privilege, and accountability. Diddy's supporters, however, saw something very different. But while the world debated the series episode by episode, Diddy's family was forced into a position no family desires, watching the world analyze their father, their son, their brother, piece by piece, frame by frame. The first member of the Combs family to step forward publicly was Janice Combs, Sean's mother. Her response was emotional, pointed, and protective. Janice condemned the documentary, calling its portrayal of her son unfair and deeply hurtful. In her statements, she suggested that the documentary took private moments and presented them without context, casting her son in a one-dimensional light. She expressed outrage at what she described as mischaracterizations, insisting that the man shown to the world was not the man she raised. Janice has always been a central figure in Diddy's life. A single mother who raised her son in Harlem, she worked multiple jobs to keep their household afloat. To her, the documentary wasn't just an attack on a public figure. It was an attack on her life's work, her sacrifice, and her family's dignity. Across social media, her statement sparked its own round of debate. Some sympathized deeply with a mother defending her child. Others argued that the documentary focused on allegations and testimonies, not motherhood or personal loyalty. Yet one truth remained clear. Janice Combs had decided she would not stay silent. Following Janice's response, attention turned toward Diddy's sons, Justin Combs, Quincy Brown, and Christian King Combs. These young men, who grew up in the public eye, became the subject of intense speculation. But unlike their grandmother, they stayed silent. No public statements. No interviews. No press releases. No Instagram posts addressing the documentary. Their silence became one of the most discussed parts of the entire fallout. Some observers claim the silence is a strategic legal decision. Others believe it's a deeply personal choice, a way for the sons to protect their mental health, reputations, and careers while the storm passes. The public watched as they avoided interviews, skipped red carpet questions, and remained focused on their personal projects. Justin continued his work behind the scenes in entertainment and business. Quincy remained active in acting and music. Christian, still heavily associated with the bad boy legacy, maintained a low profile. In a world where silence is rare, their refusal to speak became its own message, a message of caution, restraint, and emotional complexity. One of the most emotionally charged parts of this fallout involves the legacy of Kim Porter, the late mother of 3 of Diddy's children. Kim passed away in 2018, leaving behind Quincy, Christian, and the twins. The documentary inevitably brought up chapters of Diddy's life that intersected with Kim's story. The public began revisiting interviews, memories, and past moments between the two. Although Kim is not here to speak for herself, her legacy remains a sensitive subject. Members of Kim's family, while not issuing dramatic public statements, have been quietly protective of her memory. Supporters online have vocalized discomfort with her name resurfacing in the context of controversy. Many argue that Kim's legacy should remain separate from legal and public battles involving Diddy. Her children, especially Quincy, have spent years honoring her memory through tributes, photos, and reflections. As the documentary brought new scrutiny, fans expressed concern about how the renewed attention affects the emotional well-being of her children. In the fallout from the documentary, Kim Porter's story has become a reminder of the human cost behind public narratives, where loved ones must revisit grief in the spotlight. While only a few statements have been public, reports from multiple news outlets have painted a picture of a family under extreme pressure. Legal consultants, PR advisors, and crisis managers have been involved in helping the family navigate the fallout. Public information suggests that meetings have taken place to discuss long-term reputation management, business concerns, and emotional support for the younger members. Sources close to the family, speaking to major entertainment outlets, describe an atmosphere of tension, uncertainty, and constant monitoring of public reaction. The stress of the moment is undeniable. When the public dissects your family member 24/7, every relative becomes a target of speculation. Every Instagram like, every unfollow, every appearance or disappearance gets analyzed. For the Combs family, the challenge isn't just navigating media. It's protecting each other while the world watches. If you're finding value in this kind of deep, respectful, fact-based storytelling, make sure you subscribe. Most channels chase shock value, but here we break down complex real stories with fairness and clarity. Subscribing helps support long-form journalism and allows us to keep producing meaningful content like this. Let's continue. One of the most unusual events following the documentary involved a single photo, and it came from 50 Cent. 50 Cent posted an image online of a bouquet of flowers that he claimed was sent to him by Diddy. The post went viral instantly. The internet erupted with theories. Was it sarcasm? A threat? A peace offering? A psychological chess move? The moment was strange, theatrical, and uniquely hip-hop. It pulled the spotlight away from the documentary and placed it onto the decades-long feud between the two moguls. For the Combs family, this was another blow. Not only were they dealing with the documentary's fallout, but now another chapter of public sparring reignited, with their name attached to jokes, memes, and speculation. Multiple outlets covered the story, amplifying it across the internet. The more the jokes spread, the more it reopened conversations about the feud, creating a secondary wave of attention the family likely did not want. Even though the gesture happened in a public arena, its emotional impact behind closed doors remains a topic of discussion. Frustration? Embarrassment? Confusion? We may never know, but the timing was unmistakable. As the documentary rolled across the internet, public opinion split into two clear camps. Some viewers sympathized with the Combs family, especially the younger children and Diddy's mother. They argued that regardless of the allegations or the documentary's content, the family should not be dragged into the crossfire. These viewers saw the family as people caught in the turbulence of a storm they did not personally create. Others took a harsher stance, arguing that being part of a public dynasty comes with pressure, scrutiny, and responsibility. They questioned the absence of public statements from certain family members, interpreting silence as avoidance. One thing was clear: every member of the Combs family was being judged, fairly or unfairly, by millions of strangers watching from the sidelines. This tension between public opinion and family loyalty lies at the heart of the fallout. How does a family protect each other while the world forms its own conclusions? How do they balance privacy with public expectation? And how do they move forward when every move is analyzed in real time? As of today, the future of the Combs family remains uncertain. Legal processes are still ongoing. Opinions continue to shift. Media attention remains intense. And the documentary continues to be dissected by analysts and audiences alike. For the family, the months ahead may involve legal decisions, personal rebuilding, collective healing, and a long-term reevaluation of their public roles. Some may step back from the spotlight. Others may step into new chapters. Janice Combs will likely continue defending her son with the resilience she has shown for decades. The sons, Justin, Quincy, and Christian, may choose when and how they speak if they ever do. Kim Porter's legacy will remain a guiding emotional force for her children. The Combs family now stands at a crossroads, a moment where every choice, every word, and every step will shape the next chapter of their public identity. If you want documentary-style storytelling that treats real people with respect, even in controversy, then subscribe to this channel. Your support allows us to continue creating fair, accurate, and thoughtful videos in a world full of misinformation. Hit the subscribe button, turn on notifications, and join a community that values truth, nuance, and real research. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for the next documentary.